Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Edge of the Venomverse miniseries, issues 1 through 5. They're actually, each issue is a standalone story where we get a different character that has the Venom symbiote across multiple dimensions within the Marvel Universe. All these stories build up into the Venomverse crossover, and also we're going to cover the Venomverse War stories, which has 4 stories with 4 more characters that have Venom symbiotes. So I'm going to tell you guys, especially each one of these issues is sort of hit and miss. Like some of them I really like, and others I don't mind much, and others I think they're just terrible. So the first one is X23 with Laura, or Lady Wolverine, or however the hell you want to call her, who breaks out of the facility where she was created in her dimension. She ends up crossing paths with the Venom symbiote, becomes the new host. When she's out on the streets, she befriends a group of runaway kids that seem to get themselves into trouble. They become friends, start working with each other, but obviously, the evil dudes that created X23 are hot on her pursuit. They want to hunt her down. And the only really interesting thing about this incarnation of Venom is that the symbiote can actually be split among many individuals. So all these runaways have like a little portion of the symbiote with them. So that was sort of cool. But the rest of the story is, it's just okay. Then issue 2, we have Gwenpool, Gwenpool, who gets her hands on the symbiote. And this story is actually pretty cool. I did enjoy it quite a bit. Never read Gwenpool. Here in Argentina where I live, they've never actually published Gwenpool comic books. So I'm not sure if I'm really missing out on some really good stories or not. But I found her character to be pretty interesting. Um, she's not just like a carbon copy of Deadpool. At least for me, that's the impression I got. Even though she's like sort of really quirky and random, and in this case, she actually teams up with Daredevil, and in this story, Daredevil's identity is going to get blown because of her. It's her fault. So this particular story, this one shot, it's pretty cool. We get to see Gwen and Bull team up with Daredevil, fight against this guy, her evil boss that is involved with some evil stuff and being super redundant there, but it's at least it's a pretty interesting story. Issue number 3, we have a Venom Ghost Rider hybrid. And this story, it's not too interesting. At least for me, it's too off the wall. I feel like they just sort of jumped the shark in this one. It's too much of a cartoon at moments. Every single bad guy wants to kill Mr. Hyde. They're taking him from the courthouse to the prison. They put a price on his head. And this story, it's not the best. At least for me, it didn't work. Don't like the art either. Then we can go into issue number 4. This one's really awesome because we have Old Man Logan. More about what happened to Old Man Logan before he entered the main Marvel universe in the Badlands, how he had a falling out with his Hulk son, the Hulk, the Hulk that he had adopted after killing the Hulk, the Hulk of his dimension, and the Hulk gang. Wolverine gets captured by Spider-Woman, Archangel, and his son Bruce. To see Archangel being like one of the sole survivors of the X-Men after the whole situation where Wolverine killed off all of his teammates because of Mysterio. Because Archangel always had sort of a beef against Wolverine. They never really got along when he was on the team. So he's driven by vengeance because Wolverine killed his teammates. Bruce, the young Hulk, is pissed off because Wolverine killed his family. And later Spider-Woman, or Spider-Girl, she's straight up evil. The thing is, she has an evil plan. They're going to use Wolverine's genetic material or something. We get the return of the symbiote Tyrannosaurus Rex from the Old Man Logan story. And seeing the symbiote T-Rex is just fantastic. I really love this character. They sick the T-Rex against Wolverine. He straight up eats him. And what happens is the symbiote actually ditches the T-Rex and chooses Wolverine as the new host. And it's sort of heartbreaking. Obviously, Wolverine takes down Archangel. Spider-Woman or Spider-Girl gets eaten. And he flips out. He tries to kill Bruce, his son. But he gets out of his feral state, and he really wants to tell him that he feels sorry for what he did. He loves him as a son. It's sort of heartbreaking. It's pretty well written. So as a standalone story, this Old Man Logan is really good. In issue 5, the Venom Deadpool. This story, again, just like the Ghost Rider one, it's too much of a caricature. They overindulge in Deadpool's crazy antics, and at least for me, it didn't work. I didn't like it. The whole thing of this zombie parasite thing is sort of really gross. Uh, so I always tend, when I grab this compilation, I always tend to skip this one. So after this, we have the war stories here. So here we get a story with a where Black Panther gets killed by the Rhino. Young girl is able to get her hands on the symbiote, so she's able to stop the Rhino, and later on she becomes Black Panther, the ruler of Wakanda, and she actually doesn't pop up in the Venomverse crossover. Then we have this really good and brief story with Punisher, teams up with the symbiote, so the symbiote makes a deal with Punisher to take down all of the underworld, but in exchange, Punisher has to take down Spider-Man. And at the last moment, we don't know if Punisher goes through with it or not because he's teleported away into the Venomverse story. Then we get a Rocket Raccoon Venom. Pretty basic story where he has to take down Carol Danvers, who's Captain America in this dimension. It's pretty meh. Then we get a Doctor Doom story too that's also it's not the best. And then we get the Venomverse story that I'm going to save for another video. So, hope you guys liked it. And each of the Venomverse stories, they're pretty much hit and miss. I liked a couple of them. The other ones are meh. The war stories also, a couple of stories are good, and the others are pretty meh. So, hope you guys like this video. See you guys next time. Bye.